Hey guys, welcome back to this lecture, Implementing Service Discovery for MSK. In this lecture, we will learn how we can implement service discovery mechanism for MSK services and how our Prometheus system can auto-detect the new clusters that are coming inside our environment. Let us quickly jump onto the demo now guys. On the screen you're seeing I'm inside the ECS console. Let us go to the task definition and update the task definition so that we can include one more container here, okay, for MSK discovery. Now how this container works guys, this basically creates a config file for you where in the config file it provides the endpoint of your brokers where the metrics are exposed, and that can be directly served to the Prometheus service to read the scraping endpoint. Okay, so let us go here, let us add a new container here, let us give it the name like MSK service discovery. In the image you can provide it, so you can download directly from here guys, MSK service discovery. Let me just quickly verify the name if it is correct. Okay, it is MSK discovery only, and then the tag. Okay, you can pull it from here, and also there is a GitHub repository from where I've taken the reference and changed it to the Docker image so that I can utilize it here. Okay, as it is a public repository, it does not need any authentication here, and also it does not need any port mapping because we don't need to communicate with the container at all, because it will just output us the configuration where it will be having the endpoint of our brokers. I can give the memory limit here so that it does not take more memory than the expected. Okay, and now I'll do one thing here. I will provide and I will mount the configuration, because where it will write the file we'll have to provide that. Okay, and for that let us first go to the commands in environment, and now let us create a command here where we will say, okay, this is the output location where you will give me the output file. Okay, and the file name should be msk underscore file underscore sd dot yaml. Okay, this is the file name. So at this path it would write a new file for me inside the container it is. Okay, now I need to mount it to my local host from where my Prometheus service will read it. Okay, so what I'll do, I will mount this path slash config out to our EFS storage. Now let us go to the volumes here. Okay, mount point inside config I'll provide slash config out. Okay, and I'll pass a trailing slash. I'll enable the logs as well so that I can see the logs. Now I'll add it here. Okay, it is done now guys, because this service will be needing access to read the MSK data. So our task role is supposed to have the permission to read the MSK, which we have already given, I think, but we'll again check it. Okay, now it's time we create a new revision here. Okay, that's great. So guys, before restarting the task and validating the output, let us do one thing. Let us delete the existing file, or let us rename the existing file with this. Okay, and now my container, once it will restart, this will fail. Okay, this MSK job, because it will not be able to find any file over there. And now I want my Prometheus to read the file from the EFS, which I've already given in the MSK discovery. So it will create a file over there with that name, and that file MSK file MSK discovery, and that file should be referenced by my Prometheus. So now let us first let us check the task role as well, so that we check the permission, whether it has the MSK permissions or not. Okay, it has the read-only access, it's fine. Now it's time we restart our task. Okay, we stop this task and the new task will come up, and let's see whether our cluster or this container is creating a new configuration file for MSK services or not. Let the new task come up, let's see. Okay, it is visible now, it is in pending state. Let it change to running. Okay, all the containers are running. Okay, 1 second guys, let us okay, before changing the revision, we can see it here as well. So my target should disappear now, or should fail for at least. Okay, it is disappeared because it was not able to find the MSK file from there in the EFS mount. So now let us quickly change the revision, task definition revision in the service. Okay, I'll update it. View service. Now I'll delete this task so that the new task come up with the new revision. Let us wait for the new task to come up. Okay, task is pending here right now. Let it. Okay, it has changed to running now. Let us open the logs for MSK discovery, guys, quickly. Okay, writing one discovered exporter to config out MSK file sd.yml. Okay, so it has written an entry in this file. Now let us see whether this file is created or not, and how can we validate that? Because inside the container, if you remember, we have mounted this path to our localhost, so we should be able to see this file inside here. The old file we have already renamed, so we don't have any existing file with that name. So let us list again, and here is the new file that came from the MSK discovery container. Okay, now let us read it, what this file contains. Okay, this file contains all the targets that it found inside our environment. Okay, and these are the labels associated with these targets, like job, cluster name, and cluster ARN. So guys, this is how we can use the MSK discovery container which we created, and it will create a configuration file for us, and now our Prometheus will read this file to get the scraping endpoint. So let us go to our Prometheus again. Let's see if we are getting the target now. So let me refresh it. Let us go to targets, and here is it. Okay, so it is able to see that, or it was able to read that target file from there, which was generated by MSK discovery container. And so every time a new cluster, new MSK cluster will come up, my MSK discovery container will auto detect it and will update the configuration file. As soon as file will be updated, our Prometheus will be able to detect the new targets. So guys, this is how it works. So you can implement this kind of discovery using the file sd config, and this is very useful in other cases as well, where you do not have any native support for your service discovery or for any particular service. So what you can do, you can use the file sd config in that place, and you can use any in-house application to generate your target or to generate your config file with the target endpoints, and then that can be read by the Prometheus. So guys, this was about this lecture.